I just love. And so I'm excited to share the books that I plan to read in the month of love. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie, and today I'm here to tell you all about the books that I plan to read for the month of February. February is going to be a very exciting month because not only do I have quite a bit of exciting books to read, but in case you missed it, I announced that the 3rd annual X's and O's Readathon is back. It's returning. It's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. I will link the X's and O's announcement video in the description box, but in case you want like a small rundown, it is a Valentine's themed inspired readathon that I created back, 2023? Yeah, 2023. But like I said, it's a Valentine's Day themed readathon where you can read whatever you want, but I do come up with some Valentine's themed reading prompts. We have reading sprints. We've done movie nights in the past. We have game nights. It's so much fun, and I hope you guys will join us. The dates are going to be February 7th through the 11th, so it's a 5-day readathon. Takes you straight throughout the weekend and wraps up on Tuesday. I'm so excited because I will have my besties, the Fab Five, back in action, ready to conquer this readathon, and I hope you guys will join me. So again, the announcement video with all the details is in the description, and the Discord for the readathon where we're chatting throughout the entire festivities, and we've been chatting basically all of January. So make sure you guys check that out. The description box has all the information. Before we get into all the lovey-dovey bugs, we do have to talk about the Sleep When I'm Dead book club pick for the month of February, which I'm so excited. So I'm gonna have my friends Brandon from over on Instagram, Brand the Reader, as well as Elise here on YouTube and on Instagram as Literally Elise. The discussion is going to be February 24th at this channel, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hope you guys will pick up a copy because we're going to be reading Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. I have never read anything by this author before, and I saw this book as an option on NetGalley, and I was so excited to get my hands on it because it just sounds so good. So again, this is Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson, and this one just sounds so good. It says, she gets people to confess their crimes for a living. He knows she's hiding a terrible secret. It's time for the truth to come out. Poe Webb, popular true crime podcast host, invites people to anonymously confess crimes they've committed to her audience. She can't guarantee the police won't come after her guests, but her shows grant simultaneously anonymity and instant fame. A potent combination that's proven difficult to resist. After an episode recording, Poe usually erases both crime and criminal from her mind, but when a strange and oddly familiar man appears on her show, Poe is forced to take a second look. Not only because he claims to be her mother's murderer from years ago, but because Poe knows something no one else does. Her mother's murderer is dead because Poe killed him. So, podcast is a big buzzword for me. I'm super excited. This sounds like it's going to be full of secrets and just like all these cool things that I love in a thriller. So I hope you guys will pick up a copy. Join me, Brandon, and Elise on the 24th for that book discussion. And also, if you didn't know, my Sleep When I'm Dead book club does have a Discord where we chat about it all month. So that will be also in the description box. Now let's talk about the X's and O's readathon, which I'm very excited about. So for X's and O's, you should know that there is a X team and an O team. I've always pictured X to be like that badass, we don't need no man, more of that sexy, sultry type of vibe. And then I've always pictured O to be the sweet and innocent and like just girly and, you know, just the complete opposite. So I always root for both teams. Like, that's just how it's always been. That's why in the past 2 years I've always had a third team called Double Agent where you play both teams. But this year I just kind of kept it simple. It's either X or O, and I have always gravitated more towards the X side. Like, that's just always been like my go-to, but I do support both teams. So I'm in the middle, okay? So for the first book that I want to talk about, it is actually the Readathon buddy read that we will have a book discussion on the last day of the Readathon, and that is The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. Me and the co-host had a meeting prior to like announcing anything, kind of like a pre-planning party, and this was the one that we all decided to choose. It takes place during Valentine's Day, so I'm really excited to read this one as the buddy read, but also to discuss it with everyone who is participating in the Readathon. This one is about 3 women who basically are completely opposite, and not only did they all 3 get stood up by a man on Valentine's Day, but they all realized that they got stood up by the same man. This one also says that once they've each forgiven him for standing them up, they're all in serious danger for falling in love with a man who may not have just 1 or 2, but 3 women on the go. Is there more to him than meets the eye? Where was he on Valentine's Day? And will they each untangle the truth before they all get their hearts broken? So I'm super excited. It kind of reminds me of that Cameron Diaz movie where it's like 3 women find out that they're like all dating / married to the same man. I'll post the picture right here if I can find it, but it's giving me that vibe, and I feel like being stood up on Valentine's Day is like the literal worst. So I feel like this would be a great book discussion. So make sure you pick up a copy from your library. It is a backlist, and I will see you at the discussion. So that was the buddy read for all teams. Again, I kind of gravitate towards X, so I am, you know, choosing to read their reading prompts. So the first one is to read a book with red on the cover. And fun fact, if you didn't know me, I'm red-green colorblind, so it was a little hard to kind of picture this, but I remember someone saying that the cover was really pretty, especially with the neon red. But I have Unromance by Erin Connor. This is the Aardvark book club pick for the month of January, and I feel like this kind of came at the right time. So I did not have this on my radar, but like this cover is so appealing. I kind of want to go into this one a little blind, but it says recently dumped TV heartthrob enlists a jaded romance novelist to ruin romance for him, one rom-com trope at a time, so he never gets swept off his feet again. So I think it's going to be her teaching him, like, I guess like not teaching, but I guess like she is going to be like desensitizing him from romance and love, and obviously they're probably going to get together. So I'm really excited. I've never heard of this book or this author before, so I'm really excited to read this one, especially for X's and O's. The next reading prompt is to read a bad boy romance for Team X, and this is one that I've had on my radar, and I was also kind of pitching this one to be the buddy read. However, the No-Show won over the majority, so I'm really excited to read this one. It is Primetime Romance by Kate Robb, and I'm so excited. This is also the author from This Spells Love, which I know people usually like that one, but this book just sounds so cute. It says, newly divorced and about to celebrate her 30th birthday, Bryn is sick of heartbreak. She thought she would have found her happy ending, but now she's living with her roommate Josh to afford her mortgage, and she's trying to adjust to her new single life. At least she's got her beloved 2000s teenage soap Carson's Cove to binge. The series ended unexpectedly on a cliffhanger after 5 seasons, and the 2 main characters, Sloane and Spencer, never got to declare their love for each other. The show is still perfect in Bryn's eyes despite all the drama that goes down. Things always have a way of working out in Carson's Cove, unlike her own life. So when a birthday cake surprisingly shows up on her and Josh's doorstep, Bryn makes a wish for one thing she's always wanted: a happily ever after. The next morning, she doesn't wake up in her apartment. She's in Carson Cove, and Josh is there too. Everyone seems to know each other, except they're not Bryn and Josh. They're Sloane, the sweetheart of Carson's Cove, and Fletch, the town's bad boy. And to get to home, they have to make Bryn's wish come true by ensuring Sloane and Spencer, the hometown heartthrob, end up together at last. But as they spend more time together, Bryn and Josh realize that Carson's Cove may not be as perfect as it appears on television, especially when they start to develop feelings for each other in a plot twist no one had expected. Will they stick to the script, or will the real love change the story forever? Oh my gosh, this sounds so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is giving me like Dawson's Creek with a little bit of like Ashley Poston's 7-Year Slip, like that slight magical realism. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to read this one. This is probably the one I had the highest hopes for. And then the last reading prompt for the readathon for Team X is to read a book that has S-P-I-C-E in it, in either the title or the author's name. For Team O, it's S-U-G-A-R. So Team X is spelling spice. So I have Expiration Dates by Rebecca Surley. So I have S-P-I-C-E. So this was actually gifted by my friend Corinna, so thank you so much. I'm so excited to read this one. So I don't know too much about this one. I just know, like, I think every friend that has read this one has loved it. So I'm very excited to read this one. I kind of want to go into this one a little bit blindly, but it says being single is like playing the lottery. There's always the chance that with one piece of paper could win it all. Yeah, I just love this cover. I've read the One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. I have not read in 5 years. I've heard mixed feelings about that one, but I'm really excited to read this one, and I'm excited to, you know, include this. And it's also giving like X's and O's vibes with this pink. So Team O, I got a book for you. Okay, and then also I'm actually co-hosting a book club. It is my friend Hannah's, the teacher's TBR. She has a comfy cozy book club, and I'm so excited because she asked me and my other bestie Gwen to be the co-host for this month. So I'm very excited, and I actually have not one but 2 other books by the same author that I'm really excited to read. So yeah, so you can, so she does have her own separate Instagram for Comfy Cozy Book Club. It's at Comfy Cozy BC. And again, this book club pick is for the month of February. So for Comfy Cozy, we actually have 3 events going on in the month of February. So we do have reading sprints on the 6th. So it's right before the X's and O's readathon. So it will be me, Hannah, and Gwen over on reading sprints. And then we do have our book club discussion on the 28th. Oh, excuse me. Both events are at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm just so used to 8, but it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So reading sprints on the 6th, book discussion on the 28th. So you're probably wondering, in case you already saw the announcement, which book we are reading for the month of February. And we are going to be reading The Match by Sarah Adams. I have read a little bit of Sarah Adams, like not thin. I've read 1 or 2 books by Sarah Adams, and I overall really enjoy her writing. I've read When in Rome and also Practice Makes Perfect, and I feel like there's a 3rd one, but I'm just having a hard time remembering. But anyways, this is the book club pick for the Comfy Cozy Book Club. So let's read what this book is about. Sometimes love finds you when you least expect it. Evie Jones has dedicated her time and her very limited funds to working for Southern Service Paws, the company that matched her with the love of her life, Charlie, a service dog trained to assist with her epilepsy. But it's no secret that the company has been struggling to make ends meet. It's up to her and her longtime mentor and boss to throw the fundraiser of the century to keep the doors open. Then Evie meets Jacob Broden, a client consultation. There are instant sparks, but not the good kind, because Jacob's daughter set up the meeting without his knowledge. 10-year-old Sam was recently diagnosed with epilepsy and has wanted a service animal ever since. When he had reservations at first, it doesn't take long for Jacob to be convinced that a service dog, and possibly Evie with her magical woodland green eyes, might just be the best thing for him and his daughter. As Evie spends more time with Jacob and helps Sam find her perfect match with a lovable golden retriever named Daisy, she starts longing for something she's never had before, a loving family. For Jacob, falling in love with Evie is the last thing he should be doing, but love has a way of finding those who need it most. Stop it right now. Oh my gosh, this sounds so good. I remember like when we were talking about this book, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to read this one. But I forgot how much like I'm so excited to read this one. So yes, make sure you pick up a copy of The Match by Sarah Adams. It is available now. I got my copy off Amazon. So you guys can totally pick up a copy and join us for the 28th. But the Sarah Adams like fun does not stop there. I have 3 books total. So I think I kind of want to do like a Sarah Adams like vlog. I'm saying that with very loose words because I have really hard time with like executing great ideas. So I'm trying to make this happen. So I'm definitely reading The Match because obviously for the book club. But I also have 2 new books by her. I have the Rule book, which I think came out last year, and then I just got this the other day. It is Beg, Borrow, or Steal, which I've been hearing a lot of people loving both of these. This one says college exes break all the rules when they reunite years later in this enemies to lovers second chance romance. The highly anticipated companion to, oh, this is a companion novel. Oh, it's a companion novel to the TikTok sensation, The Cheat Sheet. Well, since it's a companion, so I'm gonna go into this one. Oh wait, I've read The Cheat Sheet. That's the third one. Yeah, that's the one with the ballerina and the football player. Okay, I've read that one. Okay, we're good, we're good. Sorry, got off on a side tangent. So I'm really excited to read this one, and even more excited now that I know I've read the first book. I believe this is her newest book. I do have to take off the sticker, so please ignore that. But this says, two feuding second grade teachers and neighbors find themselves teaming up to this new rivals to lovers romance. The fact that they're teachers, why is that so freaking cute? I've also been told that this one is kind of a bit spicier for Sarah Adams. I feel like she's been known to write like slightly more clean romance, but I've been told this one has a little bit of spice. So I'm actually excited for that. So I'm really excited to possibly knock off some Sarah Adams books. So that's gonna be exciting. Okay, moving on. If you didn't know, I do have a Patreon where we are called the Paw Print Pals, and I just absolutely love every single one of my Paw Print Pals. If you are interested in joining, the link is always in my description. So it's super fun. You get to support me, but also you get like extended like reading sprints. There's fun challenges. You get to help dictate what I read. We have buddy reads and challenges. It's so much fun over there, I promise you. But one of the things that I decided to do this year was kind of have like my Paw Print Pals dictate what I read. So I let them get to choose one book a month. It's really fun how they get to choose it. I'm not going to spoil it because obviously you have to be a patron, but I'm really excited because the book that I had to pick, like the prompt was to read a book catered around like friendship, which I love that because that is like something I don't actively seek out or notice. The first one is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevins. I have unhauled this book and I've repurchased it and I am determined to read it. I'm not gonna lie, by the time you're seeing this, I have already started it just because of a number of reasons. Number one, this is actually the Talk Bookish to Me Night Owl Book Club pick for the month of February. This is Gwen's favorite book of all time, and so I'm actually going to be on that discussion for her Patreon. But also this is my works book club pick that I kind of manifested for them. So 2 books in one. I know this has to do with like long time friendships over many years. This has video games, and so I am definitely going into this more blind. I know the video games and the friendship has a little bit of a romance, but I know that's not the main focal point. But I'm excited to read this one because it's people who've read it most of the time absolutely love it. I know Summer's also loved it, so I definitely want to read this one. Okay, I have 3 more books. Let me get the romance over and then I'll end with 2 thrillers because I feel like this TBR is definitely like romance heavy. So the last romance, I actually purchased it when I got the last Sarah Adams book, but I'm really excited for this one because it is The Lodge by Kayla Olson. I still need to take the sticker off. Don't come for me. But I actually got this at Sam's Club and I'm super excited to read this one. I am going to read the synopsis just to kind of remind me because I remember seeing this one in NetGalley and I was like, add to my want to read list. So in case you didn't know, this is the author of The Reunion. It was a book of the month pick about 1 or 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed that one, but there was one very minor thing that I did not like that I couldn't give it a full 5 stars, but this one sounds really, really good and perfect before winter ends. This says, love is a slippery slope. Alexis Morgan just got her big break as a ghostwriter for a memoir by Sebastian Green, a former member of the boy band True North. And when he offers to let her stay in a penthouse at a luxurious resort in Vermont, she jumps at the chance. Her career as an entertainment journalist has been building towards this dream job. After all, she used to cover True North and was one of the last people to interview former frontman Jet Beckett before he disappeared. As she comes through Sebastian's voice memos, the specter of the missing lead singer remains, and fans are desperate to know the full story. Yet Alexis also has the time for some fun at the resort, where she begins ski lessons with a handsome instructor named Tyler. But as Alexis and Tyler fall in love with the slopes, Alex's work takes a complicated turn, and the mystery of True North's downfall may be hers to solve. So I totally thought these two like get stuck in like a ski thing and like it turns into like a little bit of a romance there, but I am super excited. This sounds so good. I love it. So good thing I read the synopsis, because if I would have went in there and they didn't get trapped in that thing, I would have been like, what is happening? Okay, the next one is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I am actually going to be on my friend Gwen's podcast, Talk Bookish to Me, in the month of April to discuss this book, which I'm very excited about. Also, can we just like admire this cover? So I'm really excited but nervous, because I usually love Alice Feeney's writing. However, her most recent books I haven't been like a true huge fan of. So I'm really excited. This one sounds really good. I feel like it's also a little different than what she normally writes. Author Grady Green is having the worst best day of his life. He calls his wife Abby to share some exciting news as she's driving home. He hears Abby slam on the brakes when she sees something in the road ahead. Over Grady's protest, Abby gets out of the car. When he eventually finds her car by the cliff's edge, the headlights are on, the driver's door is open, and her phone is still there, but his wife has disappeared. A year later, Grady is still overcome with grief and desperate to know what happened to Abby. He can't sleep and he can't write, so he travels to a tiny, remote Scottish island to try to get his life back on track. Then he sees the impossible, a woman who looks exactly like his missing wife. Dun dun dun. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I was trying to wait a little bit longer to get to this one, just because the book discussion is going to be in April, and I can't wait any longer. So I will be taking extensive notes on this to kind of refresh my memory when it comes down to the recording time, but I'm hoping I like it. I haven't heard anyone say anything negative or positive, so I'm going to form my own opinion and we'll see where it goes. Okay, and then the last book I have, I felt like this one kind of gave like a darker Valentine's vibe to it, but it's Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. I will say, I've read one other Megan Collins book and I was not a huge fan of it, but this one, again, has buzzwords that make me super excited. So this is about a woman who suddenly has to have a heart transplant. Don't know why, but after getting the heart transplant, she is convinced that this like super wealthy guy who just recently lost his wife, she is convinced that she has his wife's heart. And so she kind of like goes out of her way to connect with this guy and try to form some sort of like friendship / relationship. But then, so it's a little bit of an obsession type of story, but then it's also like, well, what really happened to his wife? So I'm excited to read this one. I'm hoping for good things. I love this cover. I have the audiobook too as well. All right, guys, those are all the books that I plan to read for the month of February. I hope you guys are excited for this month to come. I also hope you guys are excited for the X's and O's readathon, as well as the Sleep When I'm Dead book club pick, as well as the Comfy Cozy book club over on Hannah's channel. So I hope you guys will participate in as much as you can. I'm super excited. Let's try to make this the best reading month of the year. It's also a short month and I feel like I'm overflowing with books. Ooh, oh my gosh, I completely forgot, and it's because I don't have the physical book. There is one more book. Oh my gosh, hang on. There is one more book, and it's actually my Paw Print Pals buddy read for the month of February. I pre-ordered it and it should be on its way. I'm hoping to get it on Tuesday, but I feel like anytime I pre-order something, it never arrives on publishing day. But it is The Crash by Freida McFadden. This is, again, my Paw Print Pals buddy read for the month of February. I do have a few people who are joining me on camera from Patreon. I will say this reminds me of another very popular winter horror book, but I love Freida and we're just gonna have a good time. This is The Crash. It's the nightmare she's running from is nothing compared to where she's headed. Tegan is 8 months pregnant, alone, and desperately wanting to put her crumbling life in the rearview mirror. So she hits the road, planning to stay with her brother until she can figure out her next move. But she doesn't realize she's heading straight towards a blizzard. She never arrives at her destination. Stranded in Royal Maine with a dead car and broken ankle, Tegan worries she's made a terrible mistake. Then, when a miracle happens, she's rescued by a couple who offers her a room in their warm cabin until the snow clears. But something isn't right. Tegan believes she's waiting out the storm, but as time ticks by, she comes to realize she's in grave danger. The safe haven isn't what she thought it was, but staying here may have been the most deadly mistake yet. And now she must do whatever it takes to save herself and her unborn child. I'm not gonna say which book it sounds like, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. But that is the last book on my TBR for the month of February. So let's go ahead and wrap up. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Check the description for all the links and information that I've mentioned throughout this video, and consider becoming a paw print pal. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest